Hey everyone, let's talk a little Batman. I just read this issue, number 25. Looked back over issue 24. Interesting color schemes there, very matching. One could almost imagine the flames matching up. Could they match up? No. These were both pretty good issues. The biggest weaknesses just lie in how well they interlock with all the other pieces we've given before, been given before, during the course of now 25 issues of Batman Eternal. And I kind of feel like we might be seeing this series turn around and make more sense, although I think it's always going to suffer from however their editorial, creative, writer's room process worked. I'd be happy to be proved wrong there. But, yeah, issue 24, I love the Andy Clark art, and it didn't seem too rushed. Love the coloring by Blonde. I wish Blonde were coloring every issue. It would have helped to have just one colorist, and Blonde's a very good colorist. I'm not sure. I'm sure a colorist could color more than 4 or 5 issues a month. I thought I read somewhere, like one of the top colorists said that his upper limit of coloring was about 8 issues a month. And I've heard Jordi Belair has colored like 16 issues a month. But anyway, I think that would have somewhat helped the constant changing art. But I wonder if artists come with their preferred colorists, or who knows, maybe it's just a scheduling on the fly kind of thing. Anyway, the Andy Clark Blonde art really made this a strong issue, and I think that art carried me a long way, along with the fact that, once again, as in many of the latest issues, we were limited in our story threads. We basically had 2 story threads here, almost entirely spoiler, with a little bit of some supernatural thing happening with a Professor Xecks, which I think might be a reference to something else. I think I heard someone in someone else's video saying that. I thought this was kind of a cool supernatural being. I don't know why his touch killed everyone else, but only hurt Batman's hand a little bit. Nitpicking. This full page thing was kind of interesting, and is there something hidden in that painting behind him? I feel like there must be, but I can't quite figure out what it might be. Maybe if I were to look at it just right, or look at it in a mirror or something like that. Oh, here's my rear view mirror. I don't know. It almost feels like there's a face in there. I thought the Stephanie Brown story was quite good. I liked the flashback to her being a daredevil as a kid. I know that's, a flashback like that is maybe kind of an easy way to do some backstory characterization. But it was very effective. Like I said, the artist really sold it. So it gave us something of the relationship between the father and the daughter. Clue Master, Stephanie Brown's father, who's a villain, who seems completely cool about killing her and only wants to, make a good impression on Hush. It would be nice if we had a better sense of the Clue Master's motivations and everything, just given that it's so startling to have a father who's so willing to kill his daughter. Maybe I'll get there someday and then I'll say, oh yeah, that makes complete sense. But right now I can't imagine where a father would come to where he's happy to kill his daughter with seemingly zero qualms. Even if he's just a psychopath who only thinks of himself, there'd just be something to play with there, of like how he's embarrassed by her or frustrated by her. At least the flashback scene shows us that he was around, that he was somehow involved with her, even though he's angry at her for doing these damn stunts that she might kill herself. I don't know, did he change as a father? I'm just really curious about him now. We also see him with what seems to be obviously be Hush, which is no secret to us because we've had 2 issues with Hush in them now, before this issue. The only 2 possible reasons that they're hiding it for us is it's not really Hush, or they weren't sure when they sent Andy Clark the script whether we would have revealed Hush yet. I really liked the kind of reveal of their plans, and it does make Cluemaster seem like a more important person, that he kind of put together this team of D-list heroes, D-list villains, to each use their own special ability to be part of the larger pieces of a puzzle that's crippling Gotham City. Again, as I look through this, as I talk about, I'm just constantly struck by how much Andy Clark's art made me buy into all of this. As Oddfellow Thought said, they really need to put Andy Clark on a regular book, assuming he wants that, because he's really one of the best artists they have at DC. I guess I don't like the artists in the Jim Lee style. I know for some people are the exact opposite, but this is I mean, his style's not way out there, but it's pretty unique. It has its own voice, and he's a very good storyteller, and just gives you a solid, strong feeling of the reality of Gotham. So yeah, he would have been a great artist on Batgirl, just looking at his spoiler drawings. Batgirl was most of the artists on Batgirl seemed a little too old-fashioned superhero artists, and maybe didn't work with the psychological stuff in Batgirl so well. Total aside. So yeah, another just picking away at things as we're wont to do in these videos. If Hush is such a high-level badass, Cluemaster kind of a medium-level badass, how come neither of them sensed at all that Stephanie Brown was there spying on them? Hush did think there was a spy device there, that she is so good, she's so stealthy at this point. Other than her being a daredevil as a kid, after all these issues we've been given nothing else to let us know how she could be a superhero. So that's kind of the built-in flaw of this issue, that it doesn't address that, but that should have been addressed in many issues back. We should have been following Stephanie's progress. So this is like a really good issue in the Stephanie story without previous good issues leading up to it. But still clever how she outsmarted her father. It shows that she's quite aware of what's going on about Gotham and everything. And I guess there's a hint of that because she's been trying to spoil it online. So she must have been spying on what her father's been up to in all these issues where we haven't seen her activities. So I guess we can forgive these flaws in the issues leading up to these better issues if we continue to get more better issues and we continue to see Stephanie and her father and her relationship with her father progress in a way that we can buy into. So yeah, I really enjoyed that issue. I was really looking forward to this issue. When I kind of flipped through it quickly, it seemed to have really appealing art, and I saw that it was written by James Tynion, who's been one of the better writers of the series, almost as if he should, like, he's the one who really knows what's going on, and he should be writing every issue in a way. If Scott Snyder's not around to be writing the issues, which it seems like he's not. He's just kind of the father figure of this series who laid out the basics and let all his children play in the sandbox. This Tynion does a very good job of weaving a lot of the elements of the larger ongoing story. We've got Gordon, we've got Penny too, Alfred's daughter, we've got Bluebird and Red Robin and Red Hood and Barbara Gordon. Did I already say her? We still don't have Catwoman, which I feel like we should be following Catwoman a bit more. But you can't have everything in every issue, certainly. And let's see. Again, almost all the flaws are just in the feeling of unearnedness. But the thing that stands out to me in this issue as a sort of built-in, obvious, can't believe you expect us readers to buy into it, is the fact that no one's used the evidence about who really caused the accident with Jim Gordon. No one's used that evidence to get Gordon a new trial or out of prison, because all these people have the evidence, right? Red Hood, Batwoman, Batgirl, and Batman, and the only thing we know of is they've given the evidence to now Commissioner Bard, who Batman never trusted. So come on, you got to give us a better reason why no one's doing anything. Why isn't at least Red Hood, who doesn't take orders easily from Batman, why isn't he going and spreading this evidence somewhere else to the press or to lawyers or something? Jim Gordon doesn't even know this evidence is there, because I don't think Barbara gets a chance to tell him in their phone call or tell him clearly. Why isn't Barbara, who just went off the hook crazy when her father was arrested, why isn't she doing more now that she's got this evidence? Because it's convenient for the plot, basically, I guess. We're supposed to believe that the only copy of the evidence was destroyed in this digital age by that dastardly Lieutenant Bard, Commissioner Bard. I enjoyed the appearance of Hush. I enjoyed that at the end of the issue, the Bat family is getting together. I love the moment where Penny One, I'm forgetting her name because I've called her Penny One too much, where Julia Pennyworth, Batman says, "I'm gather together the family," and Julia Pennyworth goes, "Family?" I mean, I think she's a fun character for having someone on the inside finding out for the first time all the things going on in the Batman world. I think that can give us a really fun, fresh perspective on it. Also a useful thing for people who don't know everything. And the Batman world, as we can see in Batman Eternal, is so full of stuff that even fairly experienced readers don't know everything. Only the people who've had a laser focus on Batman for years and years know everything going on in this book and all the references and characters. So anyway, it was a good issue. Somehow even though I loved the art when I first looked at it, as I read it, the art felt a little static, definitely by comparison to the art in the previous issue. It didn't hold me as strong. It didn't capture the characters as well. Mostly this is the flaw we always talk about too many artists. How come I guess probably because they didn't plan this far enough in advance. They weren't able to get many artists to do like 3 issues in a row or something. That would have made it much easier. But we were switching between 2 good artists. But I think, at least for the Batman world, or what we get here, Guerrera, who I know is an artist that people think highly of, and I think I've seen his work somewhere before. He draws really nice pictures, but I don't feel like he gets into the characters as much. I don't think he brings us as closely into this world. Facial expressions and everything. So there was some other... Okay, well, I know other people have talked about people who love Red Robin, that this series has been dissing Red Robin a little bit, making Bluebird, who's brand new to this business, always kind of kick his ass. And there was a bit more of this here, although Red Robin gets his own in the end, but kind of with a gadget, and he still kind of comes off as weak, and then he's kind of made fun of by Red Hood, who apparently has outsmarted him and snuck into his headquarters too. So I think we do have this thread of Red Robin being put down a little too much. Maybe not something I would have been aware of if other people hadn't already complained about it in previous issues. I haven't seen anyone review this issue yet. It's one of the few times I've done my given my thoughts before seeing other people's. Darn it! Now I've lost a thread. There are some like beautiful pictures of Gotham City. I do think Guerrera does the city really well. It's just the characters, again, in comparison to the previous issue, seem a little weak. His Batman, it seemed like maybe he doesn't know what to do with Batman. His Batman seems like he's from a different comic than the rest of the characters in here. I like he wants to do Batman more cartoony, or more Frank Miller-ish or something. I don't know. Oh, well, one... I'm now postulating, just because we're getting so much Hush, and he seems so out front and center as the big bad guy of the whole series that I still understand to be a 60-issue series, and we're just a little under halfway through it. I wonder if this is going to turn out not to be Hush. Could it be someone else masquerading as Hush? Either way, like, I love this cover. Actually, it's one of the better covers of recent issues, not recent weeks, I suppose. And I kind of enjoyed the appearance of Hush and the confrontation with Batman quite a lot in here. I don't know. Is there someone else who could masquerade as Hush? Well, someone in private sent me their theory of who it is, and I suppose that person could be doing it. Although the timing in this issue is then tricky. I don't want to give that away. Well, I think he's publicly said you can email him if you're interested in his theory. So I'm talking about a theory of Joshua Hayes's about who he thinks is really, or who, at least a few weeks ago, his theory of who the mastermind behind all of this was. Yeah, as I talk about it more, the issue feels stronger to me. Rather than finding more holes, I find less holes. Something else that I see a little bit here that I want to get played up more, because it's just a kind of effed up thing about relationships and human nature, is the relationship between Bard and Vicky Vale. And he's now manipulating her to put in certain stories, which gives us a textbook case of why a reporter should not be dating someone who's part of her beat, part of what she reports on. I want to see her either start rebelling against him or get in deeper and get shit from other people about what she's been doing. Anyway, lots of interesting elements in here. I think we've had about 4 issues now where the storytelling felt pretty solid, and there seemed to be less bagginess. So if we can get like 10 issues like that, this will be like a ship that's been rocking in the sea back and forth, and maybe now is taking a steady course. So let's see. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.